Today on CityCast Austin, it's Friday. Happy Friday. The week is finally over, and we're here today on CityCast Austin to talk about the big news in our city this week. And y'all, there has been a lot. We're going to get into this insane weather that's been happening, the Texas legislature and their obsession with THC, and of course, some film incentive updates and the new Best of Barbecue list. Plus, we're going to tell you our weekend picks on this week's Friday News Roundup. It's Friday, May 30th. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. Hey, y'all, it's Nikki here, and I got Kelsey with me. Hey, Kelsey.
Hi.
So originally we recorded this episode on Wednesday morning, and that was before the major storm that hit our area, leaving one person dead and thousands without power. So we're going to break down what happened before we welcome our guest, Leslie Rangel, who is the senior editor of investigations for the Barbed Wire. So a severe storm moved into the Austin area Wednesday night after 7 with rain, hail, and crazy winds. Trees and power lines are down. And as of Thursday morning, nearly 40,000 Austin Energy customers were without power. There's minor flooding in some areas. Winds broke a glass door at the airport, and the Texas Capitol had leaks and at least one glass window blown out. Just kind of chaos. Travis County medics reported one death. The person was found at the scene of a water rescue, and 2 others were taken to the hospital.
Yeah, it was really scary. Like, I was sitting in my house watching it happen, and it was very scary outside.
It was so fast. It came so fast.
So fast. And I think it maybe lasted 30 minutes. And officials on Thursday, they did a city press conference to just kind of discuss everything that went down. And they said that 2 to 3 inches of rain fell across the city within 30 minutes, which is crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. It checks out, though. It checks out.
Oh, it does. It was spooky outside. The hail was scary. Getting the alert on my phone was scary. Officials were talking about people driving past barricades and things like that. And on Thursday morning, officials were out in the city and helping to repair things. There were 104 broken poles at the storm's peak. There was roughly 72,000 without power, is I believe what Austin Energy officials said. They also said that this is their 3rd worst storm at Austin Energy following winter storms Mara and Uri. It's especially wild because of how quickly it came and went, like the sun was out minutes later.
Yeah. I was literally sitting in the car. Nicole had just gone up to feed the cat and was coming back down.
Yeah.
And I just sitting there, I was like, don't come back out here because
yeah.
It was just like the wind was shaking the car. It was, and the sky was like that dark gray. That looks kind of greenish.
Right.
It was wild.
Well, and officials too this Thursday morning were talking about, like their main message that they wanted to come across, because we're not done, right? Like, we're not done with storm season in Austin. Yep. Like, this could happen again before we dry up for the summer.
They said they expect it to happen again,
Yeah. Oh, God. Their main thing that they wanted to get across was turn around, don't drown. And yeah, I echo that. Turn around, don't drown. There's no point. Like, you might think water looks calm and that you can get past it, and that's just not true.
Yeah.
You should go home.
After it was over, after the 30 minutes was over, we were trying to drive, out of the east side to go somewhere and meet my family. And we came down Chacon and had to stop because it was completely flooded over right before you get to Rosewood. And I just thought, like, that water does not look deep, but there was a Waymo stuck in it. Yeah. And the water was up. I'm like, it wasn't even raining that long to warrant this kind of flooding.
I know. The flooding is so wild, too. Or, like,
it's wild.
Coming out into, like, my backyard area, and all of my neighbors, we were all just kind of standing around looking at everything, like, down tree branches. We have, like, a power line down out here. And city officials were saying, if you see a down power line, keep clear of it. You don't know what's going on with that power line.
Yeah.
And with outages, unfortunately, if you're experiencing an outage right now, Austin Energy said that outages may extend for a couple of days, for multiple days. The quote on their power outage map, if you don't know about that, just Google Austin Energy power outage map and you can find out if you're in an outage. But on that website, they say, quote, because the damage is so substantial, outages and restoration activities are still expected to extend for multiple days. There's currently no estimated time of restoration for outages related to the storm. And they have phases of this. They're getting power back to our critical facilities like hospitals and main lines of circuits and things like that. And then they're going to hit the largest number of outages. And then the third phase will be working on those smaller, more complicated outages. So shout out to our Austin Energy workers.
Seriously.
I just know they saw that storm coming in and they were like, oh God, here we go. Kudos to them.
They've already put out, like, we are working 24/7.
Yeah.
They've already said it off top. Like, we are working 24/7 to get your power back on, and they're working with other mutual aid to help with tree and debris, so their workers can get to, the lines safely. So
right.
it's a multi-pronged, concerted effort.
Well, and if you look at the Austin Energy outage map, like it has, Thursday morning, there's 37,059 people without power, customers without power. But the amount with power is 93.62%.
Right.
Like the majority of people have power, but 37 is still so many people.
That's so many people.
Yeah.
And I live on 7th Street. So across 35 on 7th, it's pitch black. East of 35, 7th Street, 6th Street, and I think a little bit of 5th from 35 to Chacon, black. Completely dark. And it was the weirdest, scariest thing to see a street that's normally always open, it feels like, to be completely dark. It was wild.
It's scary. I was in the bathroom with my dog for that 30 minutes. He was shaking like a leaf. Really freaked out. But there's going to be more rain throughout. Like on Friday, National Weather Service says that we have a 60% chance of rain during the day. And there's a slight chance of thunderstorms between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. With the weather, that could always change, but something to keep an eye out. And then there are small chances of rain on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday right now. So
yeah, listen, y'all, we are in storm season. They said it in the press conference. There is a chance that we will get more severe weather, right? And so just, we want everyone to be prepared. Please, please, please check our show notes for information on the best ways to prepare for and stay safe during these storms. But, also, if you hear this and you still have down power lines that you haven't reported, you can do 512-322-9100 to report any down lines that you find or any outages. And also just always use 311. So, everybody just turn around, don't drown.
Turn around, don't drown. Thank your workers who are out there. There's literally a man outside right now. He just showed up to fix our down power line. So
be nice.
I'm going to go thank him.
Yes, they're working very hard to help. We know that it sucks. Like, just stay safe, be nice.
Turn around,
don't drown, for the love of God. And now we want to go ahead and welcome our guest, Leslie Rangel, Senior Editor of Investigations for the Barbed Wire. Hey, Leslie, thank you for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited to be here.
I read the Barbed Wire article. So the Texas legislature, as they get closer to winding down, because they're almost done, they'll be done June 2nd, they are really cranking things out. And this week we saw the banning of seemingly all consumable hemp products containing THC and like a compromise on that Texas film incentive bill. But let's talk about the THC first.
Oh, well, buy your gummies now because your gummies are about to go bye-bye. So one of our other senior editors, Brian Garb, which, by the way, if you haven't checked out the Barbed Wire, you should. It is a lot of fun. We call ourselves a little motley crew of journalists. We're the Texas troublemakers. We tell it like it is, unapologetically. So
It's so good.
But Brian Garr, one of our senior editors, he wrote this incredible piece about THC going away. And here's the thing is this actually started off as what one might call a bill that's in good faith. They wanted to regulate some of this because, and I don't know if y'all have experienced this, but if you buy a THC product at certain stores versus what you might see at other stores or what you might get from a friend who's promoting something new at whatever celebration that you're at in Austin, you might notice that there's varying levels of what you might feel. And so they were trying to regulate this a little bit, bringing in some age regulations, packaging rules, and maybe even some taxes. Well, somewhere along the way, it went off the rails and they were like, why don't we just ban the whole thing? And people started getting on board. And there was a lot of critique about it, basically reminding people, hey, we've tried banning things before and it doesn't really work. Alcohol.
Exactly.
So here we are. The bill has passed. It is off to the governor's desk. There is some speculation, some rumors that maybe the governor will not sign this at this point. That is one thing that could hold this up, is if the governor decides, I'm not going to sign it. It would be a good publicity stunt for Governor Abbott. You know, he's been criticized a lot. Then he could be credited for saving THC gummies in Texas.
Well, and like millions of dollars in taxes, millions.
Exactly. And that's the other portion that I was going to mention, was the other holdup are potential lawsuits, because at the end of the day, you take a look at how many small businesses have opened up and are thriving thanks to THC. I mean, and it not only, small businesses that have multi layers, here in Austin, I can think of, Mary J. I think that's their shop. They're on South Lamar.
That's my good friend, Mary J. Shout out. She's been doing this for a while.
Exactly. And legally. I've done stories with her. Exactly. Legally, she opened up her shop because her father was going through a horrible illness and went to doctors, was trying to get help and could not get the help that he needed with traditional Western medicine. And so we turned to natural medicine, which is what the folks at Mary J focus on, to try to help and bring just more natural products and incorporate that into the healing. There's also other companies that are veteran owned, for folks who are struggling with PTSD, whether you served in the military or just have PTSD from living life. So it's really interesting to see. And it's one of those things that I think has people kind of scratching their heads of, isn't Texas all about being small government? You don't tell us what to do. Let us live our lives. And it seems like for the past 10 years, Texas feels like it's going in a completely different direction of what one would think Texas really is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a big talker. A lot of folks are talking about that.
Yeah. It's like, it would not make sense for the betterment of your state. It would not make sense to turn your back on $27 million in taxes. It's for lack of a better way to say it, it's free money. It's free money.
Exactly.
And it's something that is always going to be a generator for taxes. It's always. And then you can control that. This is the part of it that I've never understood. Like, if you would just control it, tax it the way you want to tax it, make some money for our state, this would be a moot point. Like, just let people do the thing.
And hundreds of people in Austin would lose their jobs if this goes through. And I think it's thousands in Texas would lose their jobs if this goes through.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, the continuum of, the production, you think about, okay, the shop itself, fine. But what about the people who are actually renting these places in the city of Austin? You think about the marketing that is going into it, the printer labels, the continuum of how many people will be impacted. That is not just in the little self-containing shop. One other thing that also comes to mind, one of the big how do I say this? One of the big reasons they gave was that this is dangerous, that this is really dangerous for kids. We had another story that one of our authors, Jake Rhodes, wrote about. It was a very intimate personal essay about his struggles with addiction. And he had a sober run and he would allow himself like vapes. He was struggling with addiction from opioids and heroin. And so he would allow himself vapes. He went to a vape shop, tried some little new product that was there, completely legal. It's a synthetic, I'm not remembering the exact wordage of it, but it's a new synthetic product. And the whole essay he wrote for us was, I can't believe this is not heroin. And I can't believe this is legal. And I can't believe you can get it at a vape shop. And it's things like, yes, as you said, Nikki, you can regulate and you can have control and make this industry a lot safer for people. And what about all of those synthetic products that are available at gas stations and vape shops that any kid can go and buy? And those are the ones that you're like, wait a minute. It was just like, wow, really eye-opening on what are you choosing to regulate versus what you're not. Why? What's really behind this? What's going on behind the behinds?
That's the question for me. It makes me mad. I hate when people do things under the guise of it being for children. It is my biggest pet peeve because that's not what you're doing. Like you say that because you think that that's the thing that'll get people involved and will agree with you. But to your point, Leslie, like any kid can go to a gas station and pick up even more harmful things. Like if the one thing that we're going to do as teenagers is get what we want.
When we want it.
When we want it.
I was going to say, let's also not forget that alcohol to go is legal in Texas.
Oh my God. I forgot about that.
Speaking of teenagers.
Well, and I mean, this is okay. I don't know. This isn't elite, but it's the same thing to me as like what we're talking about right now is the same thing to me as like the dildo versus gun debate that UT had a few years ago. Where it's like, oh yeah, dildos aren't allowed on campus, but guns are. Yes. And it feels very similar to that. It's like, wait, what's happening? I can get a vape? Like I feel like such a boomer when I start to talk about vapes, but why are we letting the children vape? Why?
Yes.
It's bad. It's
really bad. So another one of the barbed wire
stories.
Thank you, Kelsey. Thank you. Because I sure did forget that word. Was about the film incentives bill.
Yeah. So this one's really interesting. And it's another one of those that makes you scratch your head on like, why do you do what you do? This one obviously has some money attached to it. So they approved more than $1 billion in funding for Texas-made movies over the next decade. Now, this one was really spearheaded by our favorite Austinite, Matthew McConaughey.
Our boy.
Yeah. So basically what they want to do is they want to have more incentives for these filmmakers to bring them into Texas. And one of the things that Matthew was saying was Texas is such a geographically diverse state because, hello, it's huge. Like you can go film on the beach, you can go film on the desert, you can film in the city, you can film out in the in West Texas.
In the snow in Amarillo.
In Amarillo, in the mountains in El Paso, like everything. And so he said, we're wasting opportunity here for Texas to get a lot of this business from movie productions. So, of course, it's Texas. And there were some people who did not like this, calling it Hollywood handouts. There was one representative, it kind of made me chuckle, but he said, Hollywood was making fun of us for supporting our president, Donald Trump, and now you want to invite them into our state. But ultimately, the rest of the lawmakers are like, whatever, we want to be cool and we want to be the new Hollywood.
Yeah. Let's relax a little. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was approved. Originally, it was going to be the breakdown of the money was going to be a little bit more than it ended up being. It was going to be 500 million, and then now it's 300 million. And so this is over the next 10 years, and really it's a pool of money where people can dip in, pay workers' wages, travel costs, food costs, things like this. Now, there are some stipulations with this. You can't, like, someone who is interested in making an adult film cannot dip into this money because those aren't quote unquote Texas values. And some lawmakers, which this isn't quite a provision of it, but some lawmakers said we need to make sure that these films are family friendly. So Republican Senator Paul Betancourt, and I'm going to read from this because I'm just going to let him say it. He said, I don't know, I have not watched this yet and I need to, but that West Texas drama, Landman, part of it takes place in Beaumont, which I worked in Beaumont for a few years. He called it, quote, simply a bad product that should not receive taxpayer dollars. And he goes, no, I can't even say it. He goes, no offense, having Billy Bob Thornton F-bomb every sentence is not Texas values.
Okay.
I was like, sir.
We do not need hateration in this dancery. We don't need that.
Like the F-bomb every sentence is not Texas values. I'm like, I feel like the F word is quintessential for us Texans. And clearly he's never spent time on the endless construction on I-35 going through Austin. Not to mention South Lamar during traffic time.
Yeah. Honestly, yes.
Also, tell me you've never sat down with a Texan without telling me are you for real? Every Texan I know says the F word.
I think we need to pull his Texas card,
constantly.
y'all.
Yeah,
honestly.
you might. Yeah,
and the benefits to having Texas in movies, it's like free advertising. I mean, I guess it's not free; it's $1 billion. But like, you know, like we get to have our beautiful state in movies more. Sign me up. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So, those are some of the things, but ultimately the governor has to approve which films get made, but that portion is not new. That's something that has already been set in place. But I mean, it seems like a good thing. Like, why not have Texas compete with, Hollywood and all of the other areas? Like, we have so much to offer. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves is people who aren't from Texas. They see us in a certain light. And
yes, and this could help with that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
There's so many people who are like, oh, well, the way Texas voted, they shouldn't get, like Beyonce or whoever shouldn't perform in Texas anymore because of how they voted and stuff like that. And
I'm like, baby, Beyonce is Texas. Right. What are you talking about?
First of all.
First and foremost.
And it's just like, you guys don't live somewhere complicated, like this is a complicated place to live. I love living here. And like, it's hard. It can be hard to love Texas.
Really hard. I feel like, here's the thing. I think that I try to remember this. Like, I try to remember that, like, there is the portion of Texas and Texans that want Texas to stay or be this repressive, backwoods, good old boy, like, only certain people belong here. Only certain things should happen here. They want this old version that they've convinced themselves is the best version. But unfortunately for them, it is too late. Texas is diverse. Texas is changing. Texas has all kinds of people and all kinds of things happening and going on. It is too late. Let go. Let it go. Just let it go. You are not going to like keep us in the 1930s when everybody was a rancher and wore cowboy. I don't know whatever. It's the stereotype that people are holding on to, and that's why people see us outside of Texas the way they see us is this stereotype of who we are. And there's a lot of people in the state that want to keep that stereotype, but it is too late.
Yeah,
let it go.
I mean, and the whole founding of the state was because people didn't want to follow the rules of the other states. So they were like, I'm going
Exactly.
to
Mm-hmm.
Texas. We don't
Mm-hmm.
follow rules here. We never have. Just leave us alone. Let us do what
Yeah.
we want.
So Texas Monthly just released their 50 best barbecue restaurants in the state this week. And I don't know, Kelsey Awesome was all over it.
I think this is such a fun thing that happens every 4 years. Texas Monthly puts out this list of the 50 best barbecue restaurants in the state, and a lot of work goes into it, which I'll get to in a second. I do need to talk about how Austin dominated the list.
Hey, hey,
So
hey.
we have 8 restaurants. Right. Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
So we have 8 restaurants on the list, and 2 of them are in the top 10, which is very exciting. We came in second. We got a second on there. So the first place went to a restaurant in Seguin called Burnt Bean Co. And then in second place is Austin's Leroy and Lewis Barbecue. And in 6th place is Austin's Interstellar Barbecue.
Damn.
And so that was really exciting, like scrolling on the list and like looking for Austin on there and being like, oh, I don't see any. Okay, we got 6th place. Okay, I don't know. And then seeing that we were second was really exciting.
Yeah.
And then we had 6 others on the list, and it's Briskets, Franklin Barbecue, KG Barbecue, our favorite.
Hey, shout out to KG Barbecue. Hell yeah.
La Barbecue, Mum Foods Smokehouse and Delicatessen, and Style Switch Barbecue. And so much work goes into making this list. I think I might even be more obsessed with how much work goes into it than the actual list itself. So barbecue editor Daniel Vaughn and dozens of taste testers, they spent more than $25,000 eating and re-eating and re-re-eating hundreds of barbecue places across the state to come up with this list. And like Daniel Vaughn talking about like how like, you know, that's exhausting and it's hard. And like how many pieces of brisket can one I'm very interested in that part of the conversation around this. But it's really exciting because it's life-changing. Like it's a really big deal. Like if you're on this list, it really is something where it's like, oh, I guess I won't try Leroy and Lewis for a little while because the lines are going to be crazy now. Like the list really does have an impact. And I think that's awesome because it feels like, I don't know, obviously, I think journalism is important and has an impact, but it feels like one publication having this kind of impact is kind of rare now. And I think that's really cool. Like Snow Barbecue, back in the day, I think they were ranked first in like 2008. And they're in a small town in Lexington. The pitmaster is a woman, and it's only an hour east of Austin in Lexington. And because so many people started to go there, other barbecue restaurants opened up to like deal with the overflow. Like, you know, people are showing up and they're like, oh, that line's too long. I'm not going to stand in the line for Snow's Barbecue. And they'll go to like, you know, a new spot next door that has opened up because the list has made it so crazy to get into Snow's.
Wow.
Well, and I feel like this kind of fanfare, it's kind of a double-edged sword because, you know, like locals who knew about it, they're kind of like, well, oh, well, like, I don't know if I can go there ever again. But then I'm also so happy, like, you know, for these people, for these chefs and pitmasters and the people who work in the restaurants. I'm like, oh, I hope they're getting lots of tips and making tons of money and selling lots of merch. You know, like I'm very happy for them in that regard. And
it's a typical Austin conundrum.
Yeah.
It's like you want us to do well, but you don't want them to do that well.
Right. Because you're like, I want this to be my thing.
Right. I really liked scrolling through the list, and to me it was fun because I saw, and I don't know, I'm sure you noticed this, Kelsey, but the most expensive barbecue is here in Austin. But I'm like, clearly we have a lot. There's like we can be bougie and maybe charge a little bit because clearly the quality's there, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Leroy and Lewis won a Michelin star. It was like the first time Michelin gave stars to barbecue joints. And so I feel like for that reason alone, you can up your prices. You got a star. Go ahead. You know, like once you win an Oscar, you get different billing. So like,
Exactly. The rate goes up.
Yeah.
Well, listen, congratulations to our Austin barbecue restaurants, y'all. Like we're I don't know. I'm very proud of us.
We're killing it.
We're killing it. We're killing it. It's kind of awesome. And I do like Leslie what you said about us being a little bougie. I think that as Austinites, it's okay occasionally for us to allow ourselves to be a little bougie. I love that. I love that. Speaking of not that at all, what are y'all doing this weekend? Now I'm thinking I might go have some barbecue if I'm keeping it very, very honest, because now my mouth is like set for some barbecue. But what are y'all getting into this weekend?
I'm actually doing an event this weekend.
Oh.
I'm moderating a health panel. It's a women's health experience, community and conversations, and the future of care, specifically talking about hormone health, wellness, health culture, competence, how to navigate these doctors, especially in today's world. But it's on Saturday at 2. It is free. And I don't know if I can say where it's at. You have to RSVP, but it's a fun, swanky place downtown and it's free. I'm like, just come for like the free drink and to like network. And
yeah, you need to tell us that offline. That sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Kelsey, what about you?
I'm going to ATX TV Festival. It's actually going on right now.
Nice.
I'm most excited. Tomorrow they're doing a panel, like a little reunion panel with the Leftovers cast. And I'm obsessed with the Leftovers. It's like a very, is it dystopian? I don't know that I would call it dystopian.
I just started it, so I don't think I can speak, but I just started it.
How exciting.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Yeah.
Okay, do you know that they filmed a lot of it in Lockhart?
No.
Yes. So
I started watching it because of Old Girl from White Lotus. That's the only reason. And you. Yeah.
Yes. And Carrie Coon is going to be, she's in town for ATX TV Fest. No, I'm obsessed with her because of The Leftovers. She does the greatest stuff ever in The Leftovers. But yeah, once it gets to, I think like the second and third season, they're in Lockhart. Like you recognize the courthouse or whatever downtown Lockhart. Yeah, it's very, very exciting. So, and like they are in Texas, and there will be like in the show, they are in Texas, and they, someone goes to UT, and like it's kind of fun that you're like, oh, me too, whatever. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. Okay, Nikki, what 18 things are you doing this weekend?
Okay, hold on. I have it down to 3 things.
Okay, good.
We're pressed for time. I have it down to 3 things. So Saturday is Kitty's 1977 anniversary honky tonk party, Kitty Cohen's. It's from 12 to 10. It's free. Kitty is celebrating her birthday with the 1977 Texas honky tonk. There's live music, lace burger, smash burgers. It starts the doors open at noon. The music kicks off at 2 p.m. It's going to be Rob Leans and Aaron McDonald live. But here's the reason that I'm one to go. 77-cent frozens from noon to 2, $7.70 select cocktails all night, and free Just Hard Squeeze for the first 100 people, and then Hometown Hero New Sparkling THC Lemonade. They're having free samples of that. So listen,
get it while you can.
Look, that's what I'm saying. I'm stocking like a doomsday prepper for all of my THC seltzers, just so everybody knows. If you can't find any at Specs or Total Wine, it's because I've taken them all. But yeah, and that's right down the street from me, so that sounds fun on Saturday. And then on Sunday, there are 2 things. Neon Rainbows, similarly, is having a Ye Hotties honky tonk pool party at the Austin Motel. That's from 2 to 6 p.m., and that is also free. And, it's Neon Rainbows, so super gay and awesome and fantastic. And then the last thing that I'm super excited about is a free exhibition admission all day during HEB Free First Sundays. And it's held the first Sunday of every month. And activities are from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the one that's coming this week is about Juneteenth.
Where?
Oh, I'm sorry. At the Bob Bullock Museum. Or at the Bullock Museum. My bad. Bullock Museum. Activities are from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This week, it's all about Juneteenth. So you're going to learn about the Juneteenth flag, and you're going to be able to create your own flag. There's like STEM demos, stuff for kids. There's a storyteller, Tony Simmons, that's going to share stories about Juneteenth in the Texas Spirit Theater. And then at 1 p.m., they're going to have a free screening of the documentary Juneteenth, the Galveston story, at the Texas Spirit Theater. And this is free. The screening is first come, first serve. But yeah, that's going to be cool. So I love that they're kicking off June with some Juneteenth activities.
Yeah.
I want to see that documentary.
Oh, I do too.
It sounds so good.
Yeah, I do too. So that's at the Bullock, Texas State History Museum. And that is happening Sunday. And that's all I got. See, I changed it way down.
Way down. She's probably
Way
got
down.
18 other things going on before and after all of those things.
I genuinely do. There's so many, everybody's having so many parties. That's the problem. The problem is
Austin.
It's Austin. And so it's that time of year now. Everybody's having a party every weekend. So it's several parties every weekend. So you just have to either be an insane person like me and try to hop and skip around them, or just pick one and park it. Okay, everyone, that has been our Friday News Roundup. You have all kinds of information to take you into your weekend. We are so excited that you were here with us to listen to us. Thank you, Kelsey. Thank you, Leslie, for being on with me and discussing the news.
Thank you for inviting me.
That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. Our executive producer is Ira Ruth Moravec. Our producers this week are Francisco Kilgore and Alyssa Castles. And I am your host, Nikki Devon. Our Hey Austin newsletter editor is Kelsey Bradshaw. And music is by Nelson Valente Aguilar of Como Las Movies, with additional music by All the Kimonos. If you enjoyed the show, want to tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and of course, subscribe to our Hey Austin newsletter. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Bye, y'all.